Hey, St. Mark, happy Advent. Can you believe that we are at the end of 2022? As we wrap up this year and as we head into the next, I wanted to take some time to celebrate what's happened in 2022 and look ahead to what's in store for us as a ministry in 2023. I also wanted to share with you the importance of and the thinking behind this year's Advent offering and why your over and above generosity as we close out the year is so important. So, first things first, we need to give God thanks. At a time when lots of ministries are shrinking, ours is not. As you're about to hear, many aspects of life at St. Mark are growing and exciting things are happening. And as the scriptures say, every good and perfect gift comes from above. It comes from the Father, and every good and perfect thing that we are experiencing at St. Mark comes directly from His hand. We're a blessed ministry, and it's not our doing. It's His. It's Him at work through you. So let's take a look at a couple of critical areas, shall we? First, let's take a look at St. Mark's impact on the world around us. Specifically, let's start here locally. Our primary mission effort as a ministry, our number one outreach, is through our school. It's the first and best way for us to connect with families and introduce them to the life-changing love of Jesus. And this year, we saw our enrollment at St. Mark Lutheran School grow to just under 480 students. Let that sink in, 480 students. And we also enhanced our programming. Most importantly, however, in 2022, we saw several school families join the church and several others receive baptism, which is what we're all about. That's really and truly why our school exists. And in the coming year at our school, we hope to expand our administration team. We'd love to see our enrollment move past 500 students. And we'd love to see, more than anything, more families move from being engaged in our school to calling St. Mark their church home. Let's look at our neighborhood. At St. Mark, we go to great lengths to make a positive impact on our neighborhood, not just through our school, but through a whole lot of other things, particularly parties. We love to throw parties like Trunk or Treat, the Reformation Picnic, our post-Easter picnic, and our Christmas movie night. This year, you've also provided hundreds of meals for our neighbors through Spring Branch Food Pantry and our Thanksgiving Bag program. And just a few days ago, through Operation Joy, you provided hundreds and hundreds of Christmas presents to our neighbors in need, and you sponsored the entire Christmas for 2 families, giving them thousands of dollars in gifts. That's your generosity at work, and it's going directly to our neighbors here in Spring Branch. And in 2023, we hope to build on that and expand that and do even more in our neighborhood. But the impact stretches beyond the streets of Spring Branch. St. Mark's church plant, soon Third Ward Church, continues to meet and continues to grow. And this past year, we started a new medical mission effort in Africa. And in the new year, we hope to return to Africa with an even larger group. And this is huge, we hope to help at least one new church plant start here in Houston. All right, let's shift gears and let's talk about Sunday mornings. This year, we expanded our team by adding a director of technology and production to oversee all that happens with screens and sound and lights, as well as to manage the ever-expanding technological needs across our campus and in particular in our school. Plus, the person we brought onto our team is a pastor. Pastor T.J. Winters has been an incredible addition. And you may notice that he also plays piano. He's been playing piano in worship on a couple of Sundays. If you haven't met him yet, introduce yourself. He and his family are delightful. Our goal for Sunday morning this year was to get our engagement up past 400 people, which it hasn't been at for several years. And we've been able to do that. We've been able to average just over 400 people attending each and every week. We've been able to hit that goal thanks to you. Thanks to you inviting your friends and spreading the word about what's happening at St. Mark on Sundays. But here's my favorite stat. We baptized 22 people into God's family. And in the past 2 years, we've seen over 100 people join membership. That's incredible. Like wherever you are, however you're watching, stop what you're doing and give God a round of applause. Because again, that's what we're here for. More people joining the family and more people getting baptized into God's kingdom. That's what we're here for. That's amazing. What's also exciting is that what's happening here on Sundays has a reach far beyond our 2 Sunday morning services. I'll remind you that each weekday night, St. Mark's radio show called What Matters Most replays our Sunday morning sermons to thousands of people on KKHT 100.7 FM. And each day, those same episodes are then downloaded by thousands more in a podcast format. And then there's live streaming. We live stream everything now. And between Facebook and YouTube, hundreds of people each week are worshiping with us and listening to our sermons. Our impact stretches well beyond Sunday morning. And I'll tell you what, there is so much more that we can do with media. We are only barely scratching the surface of who we can reach. For example, our Christmas Eve and Christmas Day services will be aired at htxchristmas.com, which has the potential to connect with thousands of people who are yet to come to our church. Which reminds me, if you've yet to invite someone to celebrate Christmas Eve with you at St. Mark, now is the time. And to be honest, it's easier than ever to do. Just find one of our posts on Facebook and share it. Share it directly with one of your friends or tag a bunch of your friends in the share, or simply text htxchristmas.com to someone that you care about and invite them to watch along with you. Okay, that's Sunday morning. Let's shift gears to talk about teaching the faith. This year, we added Pastor James Cleland to our team, and he has a focus on faith formation and discipleship. And he's added some fantastic Sunday morning Bible classes. If you've attended his class, you've discovered really quickly that Pastor James can teach, can't he? And we're looking to add even more classes. You know, one of our goals for Sunday mornings is to offer a handful of really exciting and edifying classes at both our 9 and 10:30 hours with about 30 or so people in each class. So it can become a mid-sized community, a church within a church for you, a place where you can learn about Jesus and grow in your faith for sure, but you can also lean into relationships. And as our church continues to get bigger and bigger in worship, it remains a small community of a few dozen for you, people that you get to know really well and that you walk with Jesus alongside of them. And in the new year, we'll finally be kicking off some new small groups. I want you to think of small groups as micro churches, opportunities for you and your family within the rhythm of everyday life to talk about the faith, connect with other people at St. Mark, and to love and serve your neighbors. If worship is our large community, think of Sunday morning classes as our mid-sized community, and then small groups as that micro community, where the rubber really meets the road of the things that you're learning about your life of faith. And Pastor James is going to be leading the way on this. So stay tuned for more information about Sunday morning classes, and in particular about our small groups that will launch in 2023. Now, when it comes to faith formation of kids, lots of good things are happening here. We've got a great crew of kids who are in our current confirmation class. We've launched experiences like Forge for 4th and 5th grade. We have a middle school Bible study that's happening on Sunday mornings, and we look to expand those things in the year ahead. We also just announced the hiring of Rachel Winters to serve as our coordinator of St. Mark Kids on Sunday mornings. She's going to help us not just shore up that truly important ministry area, but add greater intentionality to how we nurture the faith of our youngest followers of Jesus. And in 2023, our goal is to add one more person to our team, likely someone who focuses solely on the critical areas of middle school and high school faith development. So stay tuned for more news to come on that. Now let's shift gears again and talk about stewardship. It's a critical area of our ministry, how we care for and utilize the treasures that God has entrusted to us as a church. I hope you've noticed that in 2022, we've continued to make investments in our campus. The most obvious is the canopy project at our Hillendall entrance, the church entrance, which is finally wrapping up and looks amazing. But we've also added some fantastic new signage at Hillendall on the gym and at the roadside, enhancing the overall appeal of this corner of our property, which I'll be honest is critical to ensuring a positive experience for our guests. When they enter, they need to know where they are, and it needs to look beautiful and welcoming and inviting. And this year, we also installed artificial turf on our playgrounds, added a putting green for any future PGA Tour champs at our school, and are just now completing a half-court basketball court. This year, we also launched a new master planning committee to look at the development of our entire campus over the next 10 to 15 years. And once that group completes its work in early 2023, we'll share with you what we believe to be the next big opportunities in caring for and expanding our facilities. You may not know this, but one of the things we do with the dollars that you entrust to this church is give some of those dollars right back to the community around us. We talked about some of the things that we do in our neighborhood outreach, but in 2022, we also just gave thousands of dollars in personal benevolence gifts to people in the community who need to pay their bills. We've used your dollars to support local ministries like MAM, Turning Point, and the Spring Branch Food Pantry. And each year, we also give a significant offering to the Texas District of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. It's the Texas district of our denomination to help ensure that mission and ministry is well funded, not just for us, but for everyone who is part of our denomination here in this great state. Our overall budget as a ministry is roughly $9 million, with the bulk of that, as you would imagine, being the income and expenses of our school. Our last fiscal year, which ended in June of 2022, our fiscal year runs from July through June, largely because of the school. Our last fiscal year, which closed out about 6 months ago, closed out on budget, thanks to you and thanks to the great management of this team. 6 months into our current fiscal year, things are largely looking really good in all aspects of the ministry. Although we are currently behind in general fund giving. General fund giving are tithes and offerings given by those who are members of the church or who regularly attend the church to support the mission and ministry of the church specifically. General fund giving are tithes and offerings. And our tithes and offerings are behind by about $59,000 or about 3.7%, which is what brings us to our Advent offering. It's typical for us and for many churches to be behind in general fund giving as you approach Christmas, and then again as you approach Easter, with the attendance and the generosity around those two holidays typically erasing whatever deficit exists. At least that's the hope. But rather than hope for over and above generosity this time of year, as a leader, as a pastor, I feel it's best to ask for it. That way you know just how essential your gifts are and exactly what the need is in the ministry that you're a part of and passionate about. Now, you might be asking yourself, so Matt, if the deficit in general fund giving is 3.7% or $59,000, then why have I heard you asking for $150,000 above normal monthly offering with the Advent offering? Great question. We're asking for this amount for a couple of reasons. First, because it will not only help us catch up in our budget, but it will also give us a solid cushion for the coming season in January, February, and March that tends to be down financially. It'll help us, in essence, guard against a general fund deficit reemerging as we approach Easter, and then will allow us to confidently do ministry, launching small groups, sending a team to Africa, planning an incredible celebration of Holy Week as budgeted in the second half of our fiscal year. And remember, the Advent offering is about more than just the dollar amount we are praying to receive. It's also an opportunity for those who've yet to give at all, who are yet to begin a life of sacrificial stewardship, to start, and to start now. And it's a chance for those who've yet to move to electronic giving to do so, which I know you've heard me say it 1,000 times, but it's so important. Electronic giving helps us make St. Mark's general fund income much more consistent and predictable. And with it being consistent and predictable, it's much easier to manage. Lastly, it's an opportunity for each and every one of us to reflect on what we give and to consider a modest increase. So let me speak honestly. My family gives a sacrificial gift back to the Lord through St. Mark each month. And yet this month, we're giving a little extra. And starting in January, we'll be increasing our monthly gift by a few dollars. I say that so that you know that as your pastor and as a fellow follower of Jesus, I'm not asking you to do anything this time of year that I'm not doing as well. Because look, in the end, this isn't about the budget of St. Mark. It's about my discipleship and about yours. And growing in giving to and through the place where God meets you and sustains you is a significant part of what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. If you have any questions about the Advent offering or about the finances at St. Mark in general, you can reach out to me directly, and I'll be happy to answer any question you have. And if I can't answer it directly, I will point you to someone on our team or one of our leadership boards that can. To make your pledge and to give your gift, just follow the link on the screen. Okay, friends, that's it. Thank you for listening, and thank you more than anything for being part of the St. Mark family. I hope that you are excited about what God has been up to in our ministry in the last year, and that you're excited about what's in store for 2023. And remember, your partnership through attending, inviting, serving, and giving, and especially through praying for this church and for the people who lead it, is critical. Our God is at work, but he works through means, which means he works through you. Let me leave you with a blessing, the same one that we receive in church. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you and be gracious unto you. The Lord look upon you with favor and give to you his peace. You have been blessed to be a blessing. I'll see you in person on Christmas Eve at 2, 4, 6, or 8 p.m. If you can't be with us in person, I understand. Just join us online at htxchristmas.com. Oh, and remember, Christmas Day worship is online only. Go to htxchristmas.com. Happy Advent, friends, and Merry Christmas.